production numbers that you've read differ from my production numbers, then you are right, okay? We'll just make that, I'll make that disclaimer right now. Bill Leff is on the roll. I want you to look to the left, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes the man from Dayton, Ohio, the city that taught the world to fly. Watch for the smoke to come on, and watch him as he gets the landing gear up, gets out of ground effect, gets his speed up, and he'll roll the airplane on takeoff. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2011 NAS Pensacola Airshow, Mr. Bill Leff from Dayton, Ohio. Come on, Bill, pull up that nose. Okay, now look at the aircraft. Bill Leff raised the gear. It didn't go up all the way, so he just lowered it. And he's gonna, he noticed he didn't have the lights that indicated that they were tucked all the way up. Quite frankly, Bill has flown over 1,000 performances in this airplane. He restored it himself, and he also made some significant modifications to the hydraulic system to make the gear go up faster than a normal Texan. Here he comes, diving down. Watch Bill as he rolls the airplane, picking a spot 45 degrees up and to the left of the airplane, rolling around that imaginary spot on the sky, using the elevators, rudder, ailerons, and throttle to start and stop at the same altitude and airspeed. Now let's see if we can swing him over to our discrete frequency here in just a minute as I get it tuned in here, and in just a minute we'll be able to hear him. Hello, Bill Leff, are you with me, buddy? And let's make sure I'm on the right frequency. That would help if I'm talking to him properly as well. Hello, Bill Leff, how are you, bud? Oh, he's coming over now? Thanks, boss. Hello, Bill Leff.
Hello, operator. What a beautiful day here in the city of Pensacola.
It sure is. And you get to fly one of those Texans that occupied the many years.
You thought there were hundreds of them. And what a great sound it makes.
Yeah, you know, that is kind of an interesting sound. We heard quite a growl as you took off and as you rolled the airplane coming by. That doesn't sound just like a normal 600 horsepower radial engine.
Well, the prop goes supersonic, so that's the World War II version of the sound of freedom.
I got it. The propeller tip's going supersonic. And what's your RPM? About 2,700?
Hey, Ron, what you tell them about it?
All right, set him up. Now watch Bill Leff as he comes by. He'll dive for some speed, getting up to about 160 miles per hour. And he's going to set up for a maneuver known as the Cuban 8. Back in 1936 at the Miami Air Races, the late Len Povey was doing an aerobatic demonstration. He was too low at the top of a loop, and so rather than making a smoking hole in the ground, he came down on the 45 after about 5/8 of a loop, rolled the airplane upright, almost what Bill Leff is doing, because Bill Leff was doing a roll and a half on that line, completed it doing a mirror image the other way. His airplane was a figure 8 in the sky, and nobody had ever seen the maneuver before, and so they said, Len, when he landed, they said, Len, what was that? And since Len Povey was also training the Cuban Air Force pilots to fly aerobatics, he replied with 2 words in Spanish, Ocho Cubana, and the name has stuck. Since 1936, they still call it the Cuban 8, or the horizontal 8 in the sky. Hey, Bill, that worked pretty well for me. Now, tell me about that growl of the propeller tips going supersonic, about 2,700 RPM?
2250.
2250, got it. So it doesn't have to be a takeoff power at all, does it?
Yeah, it is takeoff power, 2250.
Copy that. All right, well, what's coming up next?
Okay, next we're going to do a big old barnstormer loop, followed by my favorite maneuver, which I'm going to dedicate to our friend and super exceptional air boss this weekend. Wayne Bond, it'll be the hexaflugal turn.
The hexaflugal turn. Okay, well, let's set up for the barnstormer's loop. Call your speeds and your G's on this, Bill. Bill's going to dive down.
All right, we're coming down here.
200 miles an hour.
220. Coming up over the top down about 80 miles an hour.
There you go. There's the Barnstormers loop. That worked perfectly, my friend. So now you're going to try this hexaflugeron turn.
This shows going to hurt about 4 G's.
Oh, that'll hurt. 4 times the force of gravity. That means a 200-pound guy would weigh about 800 pounds. That's pretty heavy. At the bottom of a roller coaster, we may instantaneously feel about 2 G's. But he'll sustain that 4 G's all the way around. And some of the pilots are going to sustain a lot more. That's the flat 8.
Okay, actually going to do a little landing gear exercise.
That'll work. Now, he had a little difficulty getting the gear raised up, but let's see if he can get the gear down. Big, thick wing, 5,500 pounds of airplane and a Pratt & Whitney air-cooled radial piston engine. Now watch him roll it over on his back. Keep your eyes on the wheels. And there, hey, the wheels went up, Bill. Or did they go down?
I extended them.
Okay, he extended the landing gear. I'll take that.
That was on occasion. Like a Hallmark card.
Very good. Bring her back in, Bill. Hey,
We're going to slow her down and make a dirty low-speed high alpha pass.
All right, that's great. He says he's going to do a high alpha pass. That means he's going to pull the power back, raise the nose, bring the power back in, and alpha is short for angle of attack, the number of degrees the nose is pitched up above the horizon or below. In this case, high alpha. Listen to him call the speeds.
There is 80.
80 miles an hour.
Showing a ground speed of 54 nautical miles an hour.
54 nautical miles an hour. That means it's just about 60 miles an hour. How about that? That's great aircraft control, everybody. Would you please give Bill Leff a nice round of applause?
I'll pick the pace back up again and come back around and do a slow roll from inverted to inverted.
That sounds great. Now, as the gear goes up and you clean this thing up, when you're going to go inverted to inverted, some of these airplanes are not designed to go upside down too long.
Roger, you heard how I was coughing when I was doing those rolls. This carburetor's only made to run when it's upside down, but not when it's on side. And right side up, of course. So we'll see what she does this time.
All right, we'll be listening for it. We heard a little sputter on that engine, but everything's under control. Your smoke's good. Speeds are good. Let's try the inverted to inverted pass. Hang up from the straps. He's all tucked in there very tight. Check. There's upside down. There you go. That looked good. Much better. Now watch for the 4-point. All right, the 4-point hesitation roll. He'll stop at every 90 degrees of rotation. Nose comes up, stick goes over to the left into left 9-inch right, another 90 to inverted, another 90 to right 9-inch, and then completing it with the last 90 degrees of roll. precision.
Okay, Rob, this should be my last pass, and this is going to be a flight salute to the folks here at NES Pensacola celebrating 100 years of naval aviation, and also to all the people that serve in all the armed forces, Army, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, the Reserve, and the National Guard, which I was a proud member of when I was younger.
Excellent, sir. Ladies and gentlemen,
The traditional firepower victory ball.
you bet. After a successful mission with an aerial victory, the fighter pilots would come home over their bases and do the victory roll. You know, 200 miles an hour is about the top speed of this airplane. Thank you, Bill Leff. Nice job, my friend.
And thank you, Rob. See ya.
You bet. About 200 miles an hour is the top speed of this aircraft. Long after, 5 years after World War II, the United States got involved in the conflict in Korea from 1950 to 1953. That was the dawn of the jet age. And during that time, when jets were trying to spot ground targets, they were having a great deal of difficulty doing so because they were going so fast. So the Air Force took a bunch of these old T-6 trainers and re-outfitted them with white phosphorus rockets on them called Willie Pete's, which when you fired them and they hit the ground would blow up with bright white smoke. And these guys were put in, guys flying these Texan aircraft, these slow propeller-driven airplanes, were sent over enemy territory searching for targets of opportunity that the jets couldn't see because they were going so fast. They would put themselves in harm's way, fly low and slow over the battlefield, find a target of opportunity, circle around, dive down, shoot the Willie Pete's, get the smoke, and then radio up to the fast-moving jets, hit the smoke. And so the forward air control aircraft was this kind of aircraft during the dawn of the jet age. Old World War II trainers moving slow, that they could handle a great deal of punishment. So